Hey guys, we are going to do this STAAR review over equations, tables, and graphs. Problem 1 says, which answer choice represents a person burning 90 calories by climbing 18 flights of stairs? Okay, so hopefully we kind of have an idea about calories and burning calories based on the exercise that we're doing. In this case, we're doing 18 flights of stairs. So what I would do is I would figure out how many calories are burned per flight. Okay, so that means I would divide 90 by 18. That will tell me how many calories per flight. Okay, so 90 divided by 18. So we know it won't go in there. So generally I start with a middle number. So I'm going to use 5. 5 times 8. 40, 0 carry the 4, 5 times 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9. So that is it, by chance. And that's just because I generally start with a middle number, okay? Unless I can tell this number is small, and then I'll choose a small number. So 5, which is 90, okay? So guys, what that means is, I'm just looking over here. I'm not even looking at what's on my answer choices, okay? Flights. And then calories. So what this means is if I go up 1 flight of stairs, that I'm going to burn 5 calories. Okay? So then if I go up 2 flights of stairs, that would be 10 calories, right? Because every flight is 5 calories. 3 flights would be 15, and so forth. Each time it goes up by 5, that constant rate of change is 5 calories per 1 flight. 5 calories per 1 flight. Okay? So I'm going to use this information to see if it will help me over here, okay? So it looks like what they're doing here was they kind of did what we did, but I was counting by 1s. They are skipping by 2s, but starting at 1. 1 is 5, so that's good. 3 flights, I do need to make sure I check these. 3 flights is 15, that's good. 5, I can take that down again, which would be 25. So this looks like a good answer to me, okay? But I'm going to go check the other ones, okay? So, letter B says C equals F plus 5, so flights plus 5. So, a couple of things, guys. Remember, this is constant rate of change, right? 5 over 1. Delta y over delta x. Okay, which is m, okay, and our equation is either y equals mx plus b or y equals kx. So if I want to figure this out, I just want to see if it goes back to 0. If it goes back to 0, I use this one right here, okay. So 25, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 25 minus 5 is 20, minus 5 is 15, minus 5 is 10, minus 5 is 5, minus 5 is 0. So this is proportional, right? So I'm going to use kx. I mean, this is m, it's m, but more specifically it's k, okay? So our equation would actually be y equals 5 over 1, 5 over 1x, or just 5x. There's not a plus or minus. Remember, if it's a plus or minus something, then it wouldn't be proportional, okay? Unless they're trying to trick us with a 0. So this one is incorrect. I could also just say, okay, well, flights, F is 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. The calories would be 6, and that's incorrect. So there's multiple ways to check this, okay? And sometimes they're going to say which one is not correct. I always hate those not questions, but they can put that. So the next one for C, I'm going to look here, flights, calories. So it says 1 flight of stairs is 18 calories. 1 flight of stairs, nope, that is incorrect, because 1 flight is 5 calories. 18 flights is 90, right? So we know that one's incorrect. And then it says, a person who climbs 5 flights would burn 1 calorie. So I can see how people might put this, but it's reverse. It's If you climb one flight, it's 5 calories. So that one's incorrect. So our answer is A. Okay, so please make sure you're showing this side work, guys. You know this information. Write it down. Write down that information that you know. Okay? Okay. Number 2 says, cheddar cheese cost $4.25 per pound. So before I go any further, remember generally if I'm writing an equation, which I am, it will mean when I see per, each, every, right? That's telling me a number next to a letter. So I would say, okay, well, 425 times P, or 425 times whatever the letter is, okay? So first of all, I can pretty much tell you it's not this and it's not this. Which equation best represents Y, the total cost of X pounds? So I don't want to use P, I want to use X, 425X, which is D. And I don't know if you remember me telling you this before, but pretty much in 7th grade and mostly in 8th grade, guys, it's going to be Y equals, not X equals. So those two I could pretty well cross off from the beginning. Okay. Number 3. So this is one thing that I was just talking about. Which of these does not represent the distance a car travels when going 55 miles per hour? Okay. So again, I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. 55 miles per hour, where D represents the distance and C represents the time. Okay, distance and time. Okay, guys, time is almost always here. It's almost always independent. Distance is almost always here. So I'm just going to start right here and say, okay, so if I go 1 hour, 55 miles per hour, then in 1 hour I should travel 55 miles. Okay, so in 2 hours, that would be 55 times 2, or 55 plus 55. 10, carry the 1. If you can do that in your head, that's fine. 3, I would go up another 55, which is 165. Okay. So this is just a starting table for me to see if this will help me with my answers. So, it says we want the one that does not. So guys, a lot of these I'll put true and false. Okay. This says D equals 55T, 55 times T, where D represents distance in miles and T represents time in hours. Okay. So hopefully we know from here to here, each of these is 55 going up, right? So 55 over 1, right? That's our constant rate of change. That's our M, delta Y over delta X. Okay? So, and if I take it back, 3, 2, 1, 0. Each of these subtracting by 55 is 0. Remember, that's Y equals KX. This is proportional, so it's going to be Y equals 55, or 55 over 1. X. So this looks like a good one, a good answer. If I want to, I could put a little check there. Okay, but I don't want you to circle it just like we did before. Like I checked the one that I thought was, so to speak, correct. Okay, when you go through this, you're going to realize you should have 3 checks and 2 that are incorrect. Sorry, and 1 that is incorrect, because we want the one that's not true. Okay, so the next one, what I see here is our table here. I see 1 and 55, but I see a midpoint here, 1.5. Okay, I'm going to skip that for now, and 2 is 110. Okay, so these so far look correct. Okay, if I wanted to do 1.5, I could do 55 times 1.5. I'm going to skip that for right now. Okay, because I know these two are correct, so right now this looks true. Okay. Letter C says, in 3 hours, a car will drive a distance of 160 miles. Well, I have that here, 3 hours, 160. So this one is false. This is going to be my answer, okay? And then answer choice D. Let's see. 1, and it looks like it's above the 50 at 55. That looks good. 2 is above the 100, so 110. That looks good. 3, 165. And you can see each time it's kind of a little higher than the one before. So I can tell this one looks good to me. So just to double check that's true. So answer choice C is the one we're going to choose because we want a false answer. Okay. Now let's try number 4. We did one of these before break. Okay. So hopefully the first thing you notice is it is not proportional. Okay. So it is not y equals kx. Okay. Because it doesn't go through 0, 0. So that means it's y equals mx plus b. Okay. Now, if you remember, whenever you have a graph, what I would do is start where the line crosses that y-axis. Okay, so this line crosses the y-axis right here. Okay, so that number to me looks like 3. Okay, so that's this plus 3. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, so when I come over here, I know it's not B and I know it's not D. The second thing I notice is my line is going up. So that means my slope is positive. Both of these are a positive slope. Okay, so now I'm going to do rise over run. I need m from a graph, so I do rise over run. And I need to do it from the points, which I'm having a hard time seeing, so I'm going to put them in. That's 1. I want it exactly on a point. So this looks like a point there. That looks like one there. So you're going to put it in exactly where it looks like it crosses, kind of, I don't know how to say it, but on the corners there of the grid. Okay? So we're going to make our slope triangle. So point to point, rise. 1, 2, 3. I rose 3, and I run 1. So rise 3, run 1. So my slope, or my constant rate of change, is 3 or 3 over 1. So that is going to be A. Okay. If it was this one, guys, it's going to look more like that. Okay. If these are counting by ones. Okay. So it's going to be A. So I'm going to let y'all try the remaining ones of these. 1, 2, 3. Got 3 more you can try by yourself.